Hello everyone, Jeff here, back for Respawn Studios with episode 6 of my Up the Ladder series. And where before I had cut a couple losses to focus on interesting wins, this time I cut 2 of my wins and 1 of the losses to definitely include one pretty insanely epic loss. So I hope you enjoy that. I think that's game 3 of the 4 games in this. But we're going to keep ranking up. I start this as 1 star into rank 12. We're going to finish 2 stars into rank 11, I believe. So we're still moving up. Could be into the single digits for episode 7 at the end of that, hopefully. And again, it's crazy. I guess I'm getting experience playing Tempo Mage making this series, but I, again, played probably less than 10 games with Tempo Mage before I started this series, so I'm actually pretty happy with myself. It's not really seen as one of like the better decks. It's not even in tier 1 on the Tempo Storm meta snapshot they do. Okay, so I'm facing another Tempo Mage here, you see, but he got a Frothing Berserker, kind of an interesting choice. I decided to go for the gamble here and play Flame Cannon. But I do it in a way that I get both Mana Worms out. I could have played Sorcerer's Apprentice and then coined the Flame Cannon that way. But I think this is less of a risk. He's going to have to use 2 spells to get rid of the Mana Worms. Unless he wants to really run the Berserker into it, and then I could just ping the Berserker, so works out for me. Yeah, so here I'm able to trade a 3-3 into a 4-3, technically a 1-3 into a 4-3, and then ping off his Berserker, so great. So in my experience, most Tempo Mages run 2 mirror entities. Some don't even run a counterspell. Most do the 2 mirror entity 1 counterspell, which I used to. One guy I played today actually ran a ice barrier, which is something I actually did for a couple games at one point when I had lost too many hunters in a row. I put in some cards like that, and that's when I added the heal bot as well. Now Sludge Belcher is an interesting choice. That makes me think that he might be running Duplicate. Alright, so I don't have any perfect way to deal with it, so I'm looking at using Arcane Missiles at first just to see what it does. Maybe it'll hit the Sludge Belcher 2 times, then Frostbolt will kill it. But we still have a pretty decent outcome. We leave it with just 1 health and it can't attack. I was worried he would play a Duplicate this turn though, so when I killed it he would get 2 more, but instead he goes with Sylvanas. Now, this is going to present kind of an interesting thing. You see I only have 1 card left in my hand, and it's Antonidas, who I could play now next turn. But he has Sylvanas out there, so could get dicey. Now, another secret. So I also think, oh gosh, maybe this is his other mirror entity, and I definitely do not want to give him Antonidas, of course. But here he gave me the perfect chance to trade in and just give him whatever the Shredder will give him. That's better than giving him the Frost Elemental if I had played that first. I thought I was going to give him the Frost Elemental there, potentially with the Mirror Entity, but it was not that. So I pinged the bear there instead of face. He still has so much health, there's no point in just pinging face randomly. And then I could ping it again next turn to finish it off. But instead he's able to get a pretty favorable trade. But I guess he misclicked, because he does say oops that he attacked my water elemental instead of killing the heal bot. So I'm able to trade Healbot for Healbot and then attack and freeze his face. It's pretty sweet. Oh yeah, this is the ice barrier guy. Because we saw before that it was not mere entity, so now I feel fine to play Antonitis. I'm so low on cards, I can't really afford to wait to get a low-cost spell to immediately get value from Antonitis, so I'm just going to put him out there. Hope that he just tries to maybe play a Dr. Boom, and then I could use Polymorph on it. But even better, he plays Nefarian, so I could Polymorph that, get a Fireball. And now I could also play Unstable Portal and get a Fireball. Wow, Doomguard. Do not want to play that. Even though it's a 2-cost Doomguard, it would make me discard, of course, both of my Fireballs. But next turn, turn 10, I can use 2 Fireballs, then a Doomguard, which is kind of absolutely insane, to say the least. Alright, but now I'm worried that it's going to be Mirror Entity, so I do not want to play Doomguard. Though I was also wondering, could this be Counterspell? Luckily I have 2 Fireballs, and I'll get one for playing one, so it wouldn't have mattered if it was, but it wasn't, so I get to kill off Dr. Boom. But he does run Duplicate, so when you see a Sludge Belcher and Tempo Mage, you could pretty safely assume that they run Duplicate. So I say thank you, because now he's really weak. I have tons of Fireballs, I have a Doomguard, and he has 2 Boombots. I've already won this game. I don't know why I didn't concede right here. And he's also a Golden Mage, so he has 500 career wins as a mage. But a lot of people, in my experience, focus on one class, so maybe that's all he's played. Maybe he has like no wins on some other heroes. I have most wins on Mage, but I'm actually pretty balanced. I have, I think, close to 200 on Shaman. Rogue is my lowest at 70 something. Druid, I have 420, I think. Or no, 300. No. I'm sorry. Druid, I have 290, I think, or so right now. Hunter, I have 390 or 398. I'm close to 400. But anyway, we won the game. We're now 3 stars into rank 12. We're still on a winning streak. And here's the very next game. I'm facing a rank 9. Kind of interesting as I'm a rank 12. You often don't see that unless it's like the first day of the ladder and not that many people are on, so you play people at all kinds of different ranks. I decided to keep a heal bot here in case it's Face Hunter, so I could definitely stay alive. Plus I had a 1 and 2 drop, and it's a good combo 1 and 2 drop, so I feel better about holding on to the 5 drop. Okay, so he doesn't have a 1 drop, and he coins out Spider, so ding 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 ding, mid-range Hunter. At least it's not Face Hunter, right? Now, I say I'm sorry not to be a jerk, but to actually apologize that I got a piloted Shredder and could play it next turn, when otherwise I wouldn't have been able to play anything. So I actually genuinely felt bad that he has to deal with it. Now, that would have been absolutely devastating if he had killed the Mana Worm with the 2 spiders there. But fortunately, RNG was not fully on his side, so I was able to absorb 1 damage and then take out the Knife Juggler. So, mid-range Hunter oftentimes only runs 2 freezing traps, sometimes 1 explosive, but the way he plays it there, he's at least trying to make me think it's a freezing trap. And I'm going to accept that it is, so I'm not going to take the risk. So instead I play my 4 drop, and I'm fine with that being brought back up. I want to keep the higher attack and Death Rattle out there. And unfortunately he gets Leox, so he's able to use his 2 spiders to kill off the 6-4 anyway, but get a pretty sweet 4 drop, 4 through the charge. And now I decide that that is easier to bump back up to my hand, because I think 3-6 the more health and the freezing ability are valued over 4/3 body. So here, I have a couple options. I could just freeze face. I could play, of course, Azure Drake. I could use Arcane Missiles after I attack and hope that it kills it. But he's a mid-range hunter. You can't really get some immediate value from still having the 2/4 out there. So I decided to just go with the safe play and stay on curve, use Azure Drake. So very standard turn from him, that's fine. And I'm going to stay on curve here, get Sylvanas out there, so now I have a really threatening board. Now, I do like, with Tempo Mage, trying to keep tempo the most by clearing my opponent's board as swiftly as I can. But unfortunately now, if he had a explosive trap, he could have put the 3/2 into my Sylvanas and all of my guys would have had 2 health. So if he played a trap, I probably wouldn't have even attacked because all of my guys would have died. But fortunately he did not either have a trap or think to do that, and he just played Sylvanas instead.
Let none survive.
Now, I could have made inefficient trades, killed Azure Drake running into Sylvanas and then also my Sylvanas into his Sylvanas, but no. Why? I'm just going to keep pressure on, get even more minions out there, do a lot of damage to his face, and play a counterspell. So we're way ahead at this point. Almost impossible to lose from this position. We also have Ragnaros, we have a Fireball, we have a Heal Bot. So we have lots of ways to deal with all kinds of things. Okay, Dr. Boom. We have a Fireball for that. And we have the Azure Drake, so the Fireball is just going to straight up kill it. Now, the second I played that, I'm like, oh, crap. I just missed lethal. If I had Fireballed the face, so here I'm saying, whoops. If I had Fireballed face, Frostbolted face, and attacked, I would have won. Because then I could have pinged. So I go for Arcane Missiles to see what happens. It's able to clear one of his boombots. I'm in no threat to die, but I still felt pretty salty that I missed lethal. Pretty stupid. It's not going to kind of stop the inevitable, though. It will only delay it. We're so far ahead. And I was able to counterspell his other freezing traps, so that threat's out of the way. I still have Healbot, I still have Ragnaros. And it would have been bad to play Ragnaros and have it hit the Boombot, but he already traded the Boombot for me, so now it's a really good Ragnaros turn. So none of those targets are great for Ragnaros to hit, but hey, how is he going to deal with it? Especially if it kills one of them, that, say, a 3 or 4 attack. So I play Rag, and I get the most fortunate hit. I kill off the 4/2 Cult Master, so he can't run the other 2 in, draw 2 cards, and then run the other guy in. Or even use a spell to finish me. Finish Ragnaros, not me. That's a good thing about facing mid-range hunter. You don't have to worry as much about them bursting you down if you're at like 20 health. They can't have crazy combos that way. Even with face hunter, it's even predictable because they like to chip away at your health. They don't really win in one turn. So I could have played a 1-cost Hungry Dragon, but nope. I have Ragnaros out there. I'm going to ping off the guy that's 1 health. And I get fairly lucky, and I hit face. So I was essentially going to win regardless, but I got fairly lucky there, the 1 and 4 to hit face, and we're now up to rank 11. We're still in a winning streak, we're into rank 11, but this is when I lost one game, won another game, so I was back to rank 11, but then I'm going to lose another game, so I'm actually going to commentate this loss, so let's go. Now, Priest, I don't think there's any good matchup versus Priest, but Priest isn't really seen as a strong class by anyone, even Amaz, the Priest god, professional player. Priest has so many answers and cool spells, though. Of course, they have Cabal to take any 2 or 1 damage minion. They also have the Shrinkmeister combo, so even if you have a 4 damage, 4 attack minion, it could use Shrinkmaster and use Cabal to take that, which we're going to see come into play here. And I also get very unlucky in my opening hand. I don't have any minions I could play. Still don't have any minions I could play, so I use Portal. Whoa! That's cool and all, but my hand is already really big. So I get Onyxia, the 8/8 dragon that puts 1/1 whelps to take up every other spot available on your board. The good thing about facing a priest, though, is they don't really have a way to burst you down. So I'm not really worried about taking 4 damage a turn from a 1/3, a 1/5, and a 2/3. And also, of course, Zombie Chow will give me 5 health back when I kill it. Unless he gets the Alkanized Soul Priest out there before I am able to do that. What quickly becomes a problem is how many cards he's able to draw. This turn, it was very, 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 very difficult deciding what to trade for. Trading for the Acolyte makes sense because he's not able to draw a ton of cards. Trading for this guy, the Pyromancer, which I decided to do, is good because he's not able to keep damaging his own guys and then healing them all up and drawing tons of cards. But really, now seeing how the rest of the match played out, I should have killed... I should have attacked with the Frost Elemental again into the 1/4 healer and then pinged it to kill it. Now I'm just screwed. I'm able to get 1 minion out of turn, and he could just have all kinds of spells to deal with it, and just not good. But the game's going to get a lot spicier than that. That's why I decided to commentate this loss. So again, I just don't have anything good in my hand, so I play Azure Drake. Because it's a 4/4, priests have to do something before they could hurt a 4/4. They have to either buff it up or reduce it down. I was able to counterspell his Thought Steal, which is actually pretty sweet, but he seemed to know that that was potentially what it was because he immediately follows it with Valen's Chosen. And now I already lost. There's really nothing I could have drawn here that would have been great. The Frostbolt would probably have been the best thing, but my hand is just butt. I have a lot of mid-range, high-cost minions that just don't help me clearing his board. He's able to keep healing, keep drawing cards. So I just go for Onyxia. Why not? At least I'll have a lot of things out there. So I assume he's going to use Shadow World Death here, but I guess he didn't have it. So he uses Vol'jin. Okay, interesting. So I'm able to clear something here. I could have cleared the any of the little guys. I decided to go for the one with the big attack, of course. Because I also have a lot of cards. I'm not too worried about him having a lot of cards. I'm worried about me not having good cards to answer what he has. So I'm just trying to clear his board right now. Alright, so he's drawing a crap ton of cards, so I say thanks, because I see a lot of ways I could take advantage of that. I could keep pinging his guy, so I keep checking how many cards he has in his hand to see if I could make him overdraw. And I mean, his board right now is not that threatening. Yeah, Vol'jin's out there, but That's his one target. Also really sucked to get a Nerubian egg. Alright, Arcane Missiles. Now, I thought this turn could be amazing. If I Arcane Missile hit the 1/3, the Acolyte, every time, he would have overdrawn for a few cards and it would have been great. Nope. Face once, Vol'jin twice. Like, really couldn't have gone any worse. Vitality Totem, kind of interesting now. Keep being able to heal myself. And the only way he has to quickly kill it is use Vol'jin on it, which is not really ideal. Alright, so gets his other zombie chow. And now I'm worried he just has so many cards to answer. I just knew I was dead. So I was able to counterspell just the one cost Light of the Naru, and he has the other one in his hand. So, okay, now here comes the insane LOL. This has to be part of the video. He must build the deck with this idea. Like, who the hell imagines this? Okay, so Light Warden, if you don't know, is the 1/2, and it gets +2 attack every time a character is healed. So it's going to be buffed not only by my own Vitality Totem, but he's going to use his Wild Pyromancer and then a Circle of Healing. And look, all of the targets out there, that is the worst possible one Ragnaros could have hit right there. So now he says greetings to taunt me. Let's watch this. This is, yeah. Okay, so first he's going to do a vanilla heal. He's overdrawing himself, but he doesn't care because he's going to win. Holy Novas to heal 3 things. Buff up Light Warden 3 more times. Now, Pyromancer does 1 damage to everything. Now he's going to heal all 7 minions. He's going to buff up Light Warden 7 more times. He's going to draw 5 cards. So he's actually going to fatigue himself into taking damage, but he's at full health, so it doesn't matter. Look, what an insane play. So this 1/2 pointless waste of card Light Warden again takes all of that damage from the Pyromancer and ends up with 24 attack. I can't even see anymore. Wow. I had to include that game. I know I still haven't put up my amazing Game of the Week game. That'll probably go up tomorrow. I'm really busy today. I just finished grading. I'm about to play some Destiny, hopefully with the Respawn guys. But here we go. Final game. Again, this will get us up to 2 stars into rank 11. And we'll be facing another mage. This also becomes kind of interesting. Alright, so I had a pretty bad hand against the priest. Not really easy to get a worse hand than this. I have... wow. Lotheb, Antonitus, and Ragnaros in my starting 4 cards with 1 unstable portal. Okay, so Mad Scientist. And he coins it out. So it could be Tempo Mage, could be Freeze Mage, could be anything. Okay, interesting. So I have 4 legendaries in my hand. At least this one only costs 3 mana. Alright, but that's the worst possible thing that could have happened. He has 5 attack out there, so if I just play him now, there's no point. I'll get no value. He could just trade and get a secret from it. No thanks. Or most likely use a spell to get rid of him and keep his minions. No thanks. So I'm just going to play it the best way I think I can and use the Frostbolt. Don't want to use Flame Cannon. Could have just hit the Scientist. But he plays his spell anyway. I considered just using Flame Cannon here to see if it was Mirror Entity, but luckily I was able to draw a minion I could play to test, and it was Mirror Entity, so I'm glad I didn't play the legendary there. He even Frostbolts the Water Elemental. Pretty bold move there. Wow. do not think that was the right choice. But speaking of not making the right choices, this guy becomes an expert in that at the end of this game. That's why I end with this. That loss was pretty epic and hilarious. What this guy does at the end of this match is even more... Alright. Speaking of epic and hilarious, he's playing Arcane Intellect. Oh boy. So when I face a rogue with this deck, I know that's an auto win. That's one of the wins I cut from this video. I beat the hell out of a mage. When I face a tempo mage that runs Arcane Intellect, I also know that's an auto win, because that card is just crap. And then you also run Flamewakers. Alright, so he counterspells my counterspell. It's pretty cool, pretty cool. Now, here, why do I ping a 3-4? He has full health. Why the hell would I ping his face? And it also now, I could trade a 2-1 into it and then ping to finish it off next turn. Okay, Flamewaker. Trades off his Water Elemental to kill off the Legendary. Fine. Alright. Alright, so that could have been more devastating. Could have hit both 2-1s. Luckily, he did not. Now, I decided to play Lotheb here, shut down any trickery with the Flamewaker, and I also just decided to kill it off, just to be safe. Not that it's a really dangerous card, but I'm sitting on Antonidas and Ragnaros coming up. Okay, so he thinks he's hot crap. He has his 3-3 and Dr. Boom out there. Now, Ragnaros could hit either Boombot here or Dr. Boom, but nope, hits face. Okay. Could have been worse. Could have hit a Boombot, which then killed Lotheb, but fortunately we did not get that unlucky. Okay, Arcane Missiles. Interesting, interesting. Hoped that one would hit Ragnaros, and perfectly one did. So he's able to trade Boom in. That's fine. Now he's used both Boombots. He only has a Mana Worm and a Piloted Shredder out there, and he only has one card. Okay, so instead of playing Antonidas with no follow-up other than a ping, I decided to go for Azure Drake, see what we get. I decided to just straight up Fireball here. I don't want to Fireball the 4-3 and have it become something else dangerous, potentially dangerous, so I just want to reduce the amount of minions he had out there. Okay, so he trades and... Whoa! The only card worse than getting Doomsayer out of your own Piloted Shredder. There it is, Lorewalker Cho. Any spells used by either player, it puts a copy of that spell into the other player's hand. So that kind of shuts down my Antonidas here. So I could have really pinged anything, but of course I'm going to ping Cho, because that kind of hurts me too. Now, what? Okay. What? I'm very, very weak, and he trades his 3-6 Elemental into my 1-3 Mana Worm. What? Why wouldn't he have attacked my Azure Drake and pinged it off? Or why not attack face even? Like, that's the first really bad misplay. You see what my health is at right now. Okay, so imagine all of the ways I could lose right now. Luckily my counterspell counterspells his mirror entities, so secrets are gone. I have to unfortunately clear one of his damage dealers, otherwise I'm going to die. But I don't want to give him a fireball because then I die anyway. So I'm going to hope that he doesn't draw a damage spell. I'm fine with giving him a mirror entity. I don't have any spells or any minions on me. And I'm able to draw fireballs from my spells. Okay, so I am at 1 health. Flame Cannon even kills off Antonidas, right? How could I possibly win? Oh, why on earth would he play a piloted Shredder there? He knows he gave... He knows that I got fireballs from Antonidas. Like, what? What a horrible misplay. He easily won that game, but he gave it right back to me. So, thank you. He adds me after the game, and I immediately add him. Can't wait to see what he says. But he's in the North American server, talking Spanish. Well, I guess Mexico and southern U.S. states, it's fine. There are a lot of Spanish-speaking people there, but not really sure what you're saying there. Thank you. So just say ha 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 ha, but he had already removed me after sending me whatever he sent. So there we go. That's going to do it for episode 6. Hope you enjoyed. I'll be back with the next episode soon.